We are opening our student talk now, and I have an in-person guest here in the person of Thomas Felix Rieck. He is a German student who is an exchange student at the University of Ghana, and he will have something to tell us about Germany. I also have connecting from Munich, Edwin. Edwin is connecting from Munich. Edwin, thanks for joining us. And then we have Betty. Betty is in Bonn. Betty, thanks for connecting. And then we also have Rita. Rita is also in Bonn. And then I would also have another colleague, Dr. Anin, one of our research scholars who should be online or be joining shortly. Thanks again for joining as my guest for the student talk. So maybe in a quick run, perhaps I'll ask you to introduce yourself one after the other. And I mean, what you do, what you studied in Germany, what you do. I think that will be a very, very brief introduction from all of you. So let's start with Edwin.
Yeah, hello, I'm Edwin. As mentioned, I live in Munich now, working here as a software engineering consultant with NetLight Consulting. Yeah, I moved to Germany in 2018 to study computer science at Jacobs University Bremen, now known as Constructor University. And yeah, I'm excited to be part of this today.
All right, then let's move to Betty.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Betty Osei Bonsu. I'm a DAAD scholar, a proud one, and offering the joint masters with the United Nations University and the University of Bonn, studying geography of environmental risk and human security. I know it's a very long topic, but it's me, and I'm well known as a storyteller. Nice to meet you all. I'll pass it on.
Yeah, so we pass it on to Rita. Rita.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rita Ziem Ekekpe, and I'm studying a master's in biomedical science at the Hochschule Bonn-Rhein-Sieg, and currently I reside in Bonn. Happy to be here.
Okay, so our in-person guest, Tom.
Yeah, so my name is Tom Felix Rieck. I study integrated rural development at the University of Applied Science in Koblenz. I'm in Ghana for my master thesis research, and I'm also a DAAD scholarship student. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much. I think we've had a bit of echo here, but I think it should work. So when Tom is speaking, mute. All right, so thanks very much. And I now go to Edwin. So Edwin studied computer science in Bremen, and Edwin left Ghana when he was barely an adult, 17 years old. And Edwin, let me ask you this first question. What made you decide to study in Germany at that young age?
Yeah, so yeah, I just turned 18 when I left. And before that, my initial plan was not originally to move to Germany. I knew I wanted to leave Ghana to do my bachelor's. One, because I wanted to experience something new, to have a change of environment, just to experience a new culture. And at the time when I was applying, my initial plans were to move to the US because I wanted to study computer science, and the US was like, the holy grail of studying computer science. And then I found out about Jacobs University Bremen at the time, which was an international university in Europe with an American curriculum. But the touching point was it was at the time the most diverse university in the world, international, like in terms of nationalities. I think at the time there were over 110 nationalities represented in the university. And that was kind of one of the selling points for me. It was a chance for me to experience an environment like no other in the world. it was a chance for me to experience life in Europe. And yeah, at that time, I thought this was probably one of the best decisions I can make at this point in my life.
All right. Maybe other points. Did you have the WASI or the IB or the A level? What did you apply with?
So I studied under the WASI curriculum. But apart from that, I also wrote SATs, and I kind of used both of them in conjunction with each other, because I was applying to like an American style university, so the SATs were quite important. But having like a high school diploma, which was kind of represented in the WASI, was also needed. So both of them together was what I used to apply.
Okay. Thank you so much, Edwin. Let's start with our DAAD scholars. Betty is one of our DAAD scholars in University of Bonn. Betty, the same question to you. What made you decide to study in Germany? Was it only because of the scholarship or the kind of program that you had? Or, I mean, what was your decision based on?
Okay, I had a lot of decisions that inspired me to do my master's. First of all, to be truthful, I had a mentor who completed the university here offering the same course. And so that ignited my passion for it. I saw the first-hand experience of someone who studied in Germany and was able to scale through in life, had very good job, and is making impacts in Africa. And so that really inspired me. Second of all, the country, you can see that it is positioned as a higher education institution that is regarded globally. If you Google Germans or Germany, you see that's a very recognized country where education is of priority. And then you could also look at the fact that it has opportunity for students to work while studying. And that's one thing I really love. Currently, I am working with the United Nations, UNFCCC, to do internship. And this is really a good opportunity because I'm still doing my master's and I'm still working. So this is dual hand experiences. And then lastly, the fact that it sets students apart in the field of work, because when I'm done studying, I still have work experience. And not to also forget that it provides a very safe environment without racial discrimination. The particular study I'm doing, Geography of Environmental Risk, it has students from all over the globe. We do not have issues with language. Even if outside the school environment, you have to speak the language a little bit, but it provides a very warm environment. And for me, those were what propelled me to study in Germany and also do the course. Thank you.
And how are you coping with the language, or how far did you learn the language to you, and how are you coping with
Okay, I
it?
always go with this example that meine Deutsch ist nicht sehr gut, aber ein bisschen, okay? my Dutch is doing a little bit okay. It's not so good. I get to understand, I get to read, I get to sing in Deutsch, especially. I love singing in Deutsch, but it's very difficult. Everyone knows that German is a little bit difficult, but it's good. But in terms of coping, I should rather talk about what I have learned, the lessons I've learned from just being here and surviving for the past more than 1 year and a half, 1 year and 6 months, I should say. My planning skills has been enhanced. I've become a German because you have to plan for everything. Looking at how efficient their system is very, very good. My intellectual growth has improved widely from learning and studying at the same time. It's very, very good. And I'm using that to cope for the future, not just for the present. I miss home. So in coping for that, I tend to go to friends where I could get solace from, because here friendship is very, very important. You have to build a community of friendships that you do not miss home so much. So these are what helps me cope. And when I just recall home, I feel sad, but at the end of the day, I'm coping. We are all coping. I'm sure every one of you, most of you here, you understand what I'm talking about, but that's how we are coping here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will move to Tom, and especially you mentioned something about internships and so on. What is the job situation for students? What are kind of the jobs that you can find as a student, and how much can you be earning as a student?
Right, thank you. So as Betty already mentioned, there are you have the possibility in Germany to study and to work at the same time. Especially in your master's, it is very easy to combine these two worlds. Your master's courses would not be every day of the week, so that you can work and gain experiences on the other days of the week. It is also possible to work on the weekends, to maybe in restaurants or hotels, to have to work during the night, so that you can fit it better into your schedule.
And then let me also ask about, I think in the meantime, we were joined by Dr. Anin. Dr. Anin is also one of our former scholars. And yeah, one of our former scholars. I think if you can introduce yourself briefly, what you do, what you did, where you studied and all that. And yes, Dr. Anin.
Okay, thank you so much, Felix. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Stephen Kofi. I did public health at Bielefeld University for my PhD between 2016 and 2021. And yeah, I would say that it wasn't a deliberate decision or something that I was focused on just Germany. Between 2014 and 2016, I was looking for the opportunity to further my education because I've been in academia as a lecturer since 2009 at Takrady Technical University, then Polytechnic. And so around 2015, having a PhD was a requirement for you to be able to progress. And so it was the next thing I was looking for, having studied biochemistry for my first degree and food science and technology for my master's. So I was looking all over the place, Singapore, US, China, UK, everywhere, looking for a scholarship that fits into, at that time, the theme that I was looking to study. And I had an offer to go to China, and I had my visa, everything ready, but this scholarship was just for me. And fortunately, just about a month before I left, I got this DAAD scholarship, which covers your family. So it was a natural choice to go for Germany, because then my main aim of going to study further would fit into the German offer. At the same time, the benefits were much better. So yeah, let me leave it for here now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me move to Rita. Rita is an alumnus from UDS in Bonn-Rhein-Sieg, and she's one of those who got our Leadership for Africa scholarship. Hopefully this year we'll have a call for another round of scholarship applicants. And so Rita, this had 200 and we had what 200 and something 232 applicants, and it was only 12 of you who were selected, so it was very, very competitive. Can I ask you maybe how you prepared, through the interview, and perhaps writing your motivation, some of the things that you think people should put in writing of motivation and so on? Can you tell us a few things about that?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe Betty can also add
Yeah,
on that.
so thank you again for the opportunity and good evening, everyone. So I've always wanted to work in the research field, and I knew it required a lot of preparation. So whilst I was working, I had to take up some online courses and do some other trainings that would help improve my application. So when I was applying, I actually had drafted a proposal. About the same time, I had drafted a proposal, and I was waiting to put in an application for a mini study, a mini project. So I added that to my DAAD application, and because I knew exactly what I wanted, I also included that in my motivation, because what I was lacking was the funds to actually help me achieve my goal. So in writing my motivation, I told them this is what I want to be and this is how far I have come. And I needed the support to actually go this further. And I submitted my motivational letter, my drafted proposal, as well as my academic document. And later I received the invitation for an interview. And so I also had to prepare for that. And that I was actually guided by my senior colleagues who had already studied in Germany at that time. So they just trained me and gave me views on how to better prepare for the interview. The interview also revolved around what I had submitted. So when you are submitting your application, you obviously need to know what you want. You need to be better prepared for that. Because there were experts on the panel. There were experts in my field, in the research field on the panel, as well as the DAAD team. And I was interviewed concerning what I had presented and also around what I wanted to study. And it was a 30-minute interview. So after that, then a few months later, I received the letter indicating that I was selected for the scholarship.
All right, then. Thanks so much and congrats again. And let me go to Dr. Anin, especially one question that worries a lot of applicants going further for PhD is the search for research supervisor, how well you have a research proposal. In fact, Rita is doing a master's, but she also put together a research proposal even before her application, which is quite good. So Dr. Anin, if you can tell us a few things about writing research proposals, some of the things you need to put in. I believe we have a number of people who are interested in PhDs on the line, so this will be great. Some insights on that.
Right, thank you very much. So, I mean, I just want to do this maybe in just 2 minutes. If you want to write a very good proposal, one of the things that you should look out for is who you want to work with or the area you want to work in. What is trending? What is the research gap? And so on. So that is what you would have to, look at and try to. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry. So that is what you would have to really prioritize in terms of what your focus should be. My experience was quite different because the original proposal that I had in mind, which I was sending to China, and then I came into contact with my supervisor whom I work with. My original proposal was in food science, and then I met this professor who is a specialist in infectious disease epidemiology, and I wanted to do something in non-communicable diseases. So these were two different areas, but I had to think through what he could offer me and what I could also do to align with my background so that I'm not too far away from my area of expertise. So it will be quite difficult for me to say what, most importantly, getting a supervisor is key. And your ability to get to the heart of the supervisor is so important. So if you can get the supervisor to appreciate what you want to achieve, I believe that is the goal. But in terms of the structure of the proposal and so on, this is something that we need a bit more time to illustrate how to write a very good proposal. So just think of it. You find a nice lady you want to marry. You ask me what's the best way to propose to this person. I think that it will be very difficult, but you have to think through, you have to be creative. How do I get to the heart of this person to pay attention to me for a few minutes and then keep on listening after the first few minutes? So if you need to have the vibe, you need to think of what to say to get the attention of the person. And because we are all so different, it will be difficult to give a one-size-fits-all answer to this question. I don't know if that helps. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thanks so much to some extent. But for PhD, we will also later on in the year, around July, we'll be doing PhD proposal writing workshop. And yeah, oh, okay. Rita has something to say.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the proposal thing for the Leadership for Africa. It was actually an option to either include the proposal or not. But then I added that to just complement my application because I wanted them to know that I actually had something in mind that I wanted to do. And so the application, the scholarship actually was really going to help me achieve my aim. That was why I added the proposal. Yeah. And another thing about the Leadership for Africa scholarship is you actually do not apply for your master's program until you've had the scholarship. And so I actually had to start applying for my master's when I got here. So usually you get a scholarship first before you then apply to the universities. It's actually a twist to the normal DAAD scholarships we know already.
All right, thanks so much. Let me come to Betty. So maybe participants, you can also be asking questions to the our panel. We have maybe, let's say, from 5 minutes or so to continue with the next slot. But I want to go to Betty. Something that we always look out for, or the selection committee looks out for in terms of scholarship, is a change agent. And Betty is someone who is a founder of Be Inspired. And Betty is into several leadership or activism. I don't know if you can tell us some of the things that you've done before your extracurricular activity and maybe how it all played up in your writing or applying for the DAD grants that you are on today.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I love the fact you said I do a lot of impactful work. And yes, that is true. But before I talk on that, I just wanted to give a little comment on what the previous speaker said regarding her application. For mine is the opposite because the school application comes with the scholarship application. So this was one package. You apply for the school and apply the same time for the scholarship. The school accepts you. And if the scholarship decides to accept you, then it accepts you. But if not, you can get the school and then you can go and apply for scholarship elsewhere. So this is just something I wanted the audience to know. But apart from that, yes, I do a lot of work in the NGO sector or in the developmental sector. I've been working for more than 6 years with Green Africa Youth Organization. It's an NGO youth-led. We implement projects within communities that is focused on environmental sustainabilities and community development. So from Ghana, I was working as the program support assistance. From that, I worked my way through to becoming the country manager in another country in Uganda. And through this, I gained a sense of responsibility. I gained the sense of, okay, what can I do to create more impact? From my several experiences in communities, I observed that people want to tell their stories. And so I came up with the organization Be Inspired with Stories from Africa, where people can tell their own stories themselves, innovative stories, stories of inspiration to touch hearts. And so everywhere I go, I always want to start with a story. Today was not the time for stories, so I decided not to start with a story. So this is what I do. And today I'm in Germany, and through this is creating a lot of platforms for me to showcase the work I've been doing. I've been able to go to several events to showcase the works I do and the impact I'm making in Africa. So this is what I do, and I would love to hear questions, and I'll be able to answer. Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and I mean, reading your profile, I saw that you were really into a lot, and no wonder you got the scholarship. Maybe let's go on to a different topic now, especially about finding accommodation in Germany and the student accommodation, the types, and so on. Let's go to Tom to give us some insight.
Right. So basically, there are two main options you have when you go to Germany. There are like the students' hostel, which are on campus. It's a bit like in Ghana, but keep in mind that the places are very limited. However, most of the students, they live in shared flats, so-called WG. And looking for an apartment or looking for a room in a shared flat can also be very challenging. And I think the best advice I can give you here is to start early. So the moment you receive your acceptance letter, the moment you receive your scholarship or whatever, it is the moment to actually reach out to the international office of your new school to ask, okay, how can I do it? Is there any help? Can I apply for the rooms in the hostels, and like actively look for help to find accommodation very early?
Thank you so much. And I don't know, so let me ask Rita and Betty, where are you living now? Which of the types of hostels are you in?
Okay, for me, I'm in a WG, as he said. So it's called Hof in Germany. It's just a one-room, self-contained with a kitchen, a bathroom. Simple.
I live in a shared flat, so I'm in a flat with 2 other students, and we share all the other stuff.
And how much are you paying?
Okay, for myself, previously I was paying lesser, way lesser where I was before, and then I moved to another apartment. So previously I was paying 205 euro per month, but now I'm paying 315 euro per month. And then when you add the radio bill, you're getting to like 300 and almost 35 euros a month. Yeah.
I'm paying 498 per month. It's a private flat, unfortunately. So just like Tom said, because of the increased number of students, especially in Bonn, unfortunately, I didn't get the student dormitory, and so I had to go for a private flat, and it's about 498, including the radio fee. Yeah.
And maybe if I could just add something. For us, we had very good coordination with the DAAD scholars that are offering our particular study. So we're able to always arrange accommodations for us. Like whenever you apply, they just ensure that they apply for accommodation for you so that you don't struggle with accommodation. So that really helped me a lot.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something quickly to the entire topic of accommodation. I know for me personally, when I first moved, the idea of living in a WG was a bit foreign to me because I'd never lived with completely random people who I've never met and then had to share kind of amenities with. But then I would say it's kind of an opportunity for you to broaden your perspective. You get to see how other people live, you get to influence their decisions, you get to learn how to deal with certain other things, and it helps out with kind of your coordination. So it's definitely a new experience coming from Ghana, but then it's one that I can definitely recommend. And another thing, also, the price of accommodation can vary greatly depending on the city in which you live. So that's also one thing to kind of look at. And yeah, as was already mentioned, starting early is very important because the places are few. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's very important to start early, to make sure that you're finding a place where things are kind of provided and you're well connected. And yeah, overall, it's an interesting experience. I would mention that, yeah, when choosing a location or choosing a university, you should also look at cost of living in the cost of living in the area, because it can greatly influence what you are able to afford.
One more thing I would like to include. One more thing I would like to include is to contact the international office. They are also very helpful. So once you get your admission, as soon as possible, reach out to the international office in the school. And sometimes they can also help you with options of accommodation around the university.